media covers your story will be built from the ground up. King, dominate. He's the one, the only, motherfucker Jason Lee.
All right, welcome back for our new episode of the Jason Lee Show. Okay, I know I say this a couple of times since I've done the show that I'm completely honored to have a guest here, but I really am. This person is somebody that I've watched for years, as all of you have, who, yes, we know he's a king of comedy. Yes, we know he's hilarious. And yes, we know he will read you down and burn the internet down if you try him. And it isn't because he likes the color red all along. It's because he's intelligent. Please welcome somebody who I have a lot of respect for that I've been trying to get in my orbit for a minute, D.L. Hughley.
Hey, man, good to see you.
So
this is very impressive, man.
Thank you.
You got a whole floor and white people? Come on now.
No, yeah, we got the biggest space in the building, you know, and yes, this is a black-owned business. I have to tell you.
So you own those white people?
Yes.
This is close to reparations I need. I swear to God.
Okay, wait. We have not been able to start the show fast enough because DL's probably been here for about 30 minutes in and outside the green room, and we keep starting little conversations about everything from politics to overcoming the hood to going back and buying back the block and being leaders to Kanye West. There's so many places to start, but I have to first start by giving your flowers on camera. Because as I've been in my come up and as I've been grinding, and as you know, and when you're starting your own thing and trying to figure it out, you have a lot of energy coming at you. And then when you start popping, it really starts coming. Right. You've consistently been first watching from a distance and liking and commenting to actually.
Well, you know why?
Yeah. Because I don't know why, but I want to say thank you because it means a lot to me.
Because I don't like this interview format. I think, but I think that you have done a good job taking something that can potentially be disruptive and doing a caring, I think, curating an interview that people are proud of. Mm-hmm. And in the end, you want to be proud of the things you say, or at least be clear. Mm-hmm. Like if I can't be proud, I want to be able at least to say I said it. And so I've watched you for a long time, and that seems to be kind of the hallmarks of what it is I see you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. You know, coming from somebody who's been a staple in the culture, a staple in our homes, staple in our lives for a long time. And, you know, there's no real roadmap to getting it right. You got to figure it out. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm going to make more mistakes. I'm just now running for city council, so I'm being very careful.
Which is interesting to me.
You think so?
I do. I think most of the people I see run for something have done it from a perspective of what's in it for them. Uh-huh. There's a level of altruism that used to be associated with politics. Like it took me 6 years to become a member of Omega. And because I'd always wanted to be of service, I'd always seen that they were immersed in every aspect of our community. I've always been intrigued by the way they carried themselves and what they valued. And so for me to kind of finally become a member, it was very important to me. I've watched you do the same thing in terms of the service because I'd already achieved enough. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing I need from her, that organization, other than to be of service. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you need from the city of Stockton in the political apparatus, other than to be of service. Mm-hmm. Now you don't have to do it, but wanting to do something is I think the kind of linchpin of what determines whether you can be successful or not. I'm just, when I see a young person that comes from an environment, has been successful, and wants to come back politically in the political arena, that tells me a lot about who they are.
I like when you keep calling me young. Can people around here keep calling me young? I'm 40. I'll be 47 this year. I'm grown.
I'll be 60 on Wednesday.
Which is insane for 60. Give it up for 60. Okay. You know what? When I saw that it said you were 60, what are your keys to looking good and being healthy and looking vibrant and living a vibrant life? Because 60, I think we're redefining what aging looks like. I'm 46, 47, you'll be 60. How?
I don't lie to myself. I don't. I think that I have relationships with people where they know exactly who I am. And I think if you changed your persona and face for every environment, if you were different in all these circumstances, I think it ages you. Mm-hmm. I think bullshit.
You mean the pressure of having a...
I think bullshit, people lying to people, the pressure of being this and that. I think when you know who you are, there's no you never you have the opportunity to surprise yourself. But I think internally there's a metric set to you that just makes you feel connected and vibrant.
But did you always have that? Because that also takes courage.
No. When I was a kid, I'll never forget this. It was a kid. I went to Avalon Gardens Elementary, and there was this candy. You know, when we were growing up, they didn't have these modern advances. So he had the crutches with the braces.
Yep.
On, and I remember they had come into the bathroom, and they jammed him up, and they threw him on the ground, and I came in, and he was covered in all this bull. And he said, "Man, can you help me?" And I said, "Man, if I help you, then they'll me." Mm-hmm. That sticks with me. I think about that. That's a level of cowardice that the man I am now can't reconcile.
What grade was that though?
Fourth, third.
Okay.
But still, it is a template.
But you remember.
I remember every day. Mm-hmm. Obviously not every day, but often when I'm in situations where I want to shrink back, I think about that. This kid asked me for help, and all it cost me, like it wouldn't have cost me anything, but I was so afraid of what might happen that I didn't act. And that's a level of cowardice, and you can't call it anything else, that I have had to deal with in my life that guides the way I see things and move.
But when did you realize that you then had found the courage? Because I do believe, like, when you stand on when you stand on what you believe in, it is what it is, right. Which I believe that's how I've come into this thing from the very beginning, because it just makes life much easier. Right. But I remember 7th grade when they jumped me, and I remember being nervous to go to school, but then I remember in 9th grade, I said, I'm gonna fight everybody every single day, no matter what happens. And then after that, I just never worried about it. Right. When did you find the courage to just stand on everything?
I'm scared all the time.
Still?
About so many things.
No way.
I'm scared all the time.
Is that the Duce, or are you for real?
No. I don't. That ain't. Come on, now. You ain't got that. Here.
Oh, De Leon. Sorry, we can get some.
No, I'm scared all the time, and I think that. But it is. Every time I get scared, it's a reminder of a time I let fear rule me. I let it impact me in a way that still troubles me when I'll be a 60-year-old man.
Okay, but I don't see that. Everybody watching right now, because I know the pulse of my people, nobody believes that about you.
Yeah.
But what do you get afraid of?
Everything. What people will think, or what I'll be able to do.
D.O., you lying. There's no way you think that.
I do. I think, but I'm more afraid. It's two things that are my guiding principles. I'm afraid of what I'll think of myself, and I'm afraid of what my dead father will think of me. Like, some people have these religious epiphanies where they're guided by this higher principle. Mine was Charles Hughley. I'm like, if he would be proud of me, if he thought I was brave, or and he's not here obviously, but that is my metric. And if I am afraid and do a thing, then I say, this is the thing you're supposed to do. The most dangerous thing for us as a people is comfort.
Facts. Because comfort breeds complacency.
It does. It is. Not to go up, like I watch, for instance, DJ Khaled. I don't have any problem with any man who's been very successful enjoying himself. But you have to, and I don't know what's in somebody's heart. I do know what's on their post. I don't know what's in your head, I know what's on your timeline. So I'll see you exalting God when you make a shot, right? But I'll watch a 7-year-old Palestinian boy who is praying to God for the strength to bear that his family had been killed. I'll watch you pray to not hit a bunker. And then I will watch a Palestinian family pray that they can find one. And you know, we are all people, and everybody can do what they can do. But when I watch you have grown men carry you so you don't f up your Jordans, we're used to Palestinians being carried. They're just not alive, they're dead. And they don't have shoes, they don't even have feet. And so, to me, you have gone from DJ Khaled to DJ Callous. You cannot be so oblivious that you forget that the images that you are portraying have an equal and opposite effect. And what it tells people is that somebody that looks like them doesn't care. Why should you?
So you just said you get nervous or scared, but yet you just said the thing that not one person in the industry has called out. And I saw the video that you're talking about, and I saw DJ Khaled's cousin, Fadi, who I know, who lived in Miami, moved to the UAE, now lives in Dubai. He's a friend of mine. He's doing a lot of work out there to uplift the community there, but now he's every day begging for help for the Palestinians, and now he's even called out DJ Khaled for not stepping up.
You know what you don't see?
Where do you get the courage to do that? If you're
not even courage, it's what you see. Look, we had campaigns. If you see it, say it. I don't begrudge anybody from enjoying the accoutrements of success, but you cannot blindly. You have people, your chef cooking you a meal, and people are dying. It seems willfully obtuse. You can't tell me that you don't understand the impact and import. Do you know how things change? Because people see somebody do something that they respect and do something. The only reason black and brown people exist and people listen to us because we can run, jump, sing, or dance.
Or make people laugh.
Even us, we're a different thing. I think but the people that have moved the needle have been through music and athletics. Muhammad Ali changed the world. LeBron is having a lot to change the world. Music, the Motown is the 60s. Aretha, all those people. You make music. You don't have to say anything. You can talk with your music. But when you're oblivious, when you act oblivious, it tells everybody else that it's not a big deal because this is cool.
But it also goes back to, I was having a conversation earlier with Catherine Bruton from BMI and saying that when she was asking, like, what's the thing that's motivating you to go back and do for your community, like what I've done for mine? I said, because we both understand the sense of service, staying connected to our community, and that it's bigger than us, that God has given us these platforms to continue to like be the bridge for people who can't find their bridge. And I just don't understand the disconnect, because it's almost like the new slave trade or the new slave system is like corporate people just pouring a bunch of money into people that will tap dance for them.
But it's also excess.
Yeah.
We love excess. We love it. Like when Donald Trump makes tennis shoes and knows that that's going to appeal to certain people. He made them gold and he made them red at the bottom. The same people that brag about how he gave them a STEMI check so they're going to vote for him, that appealed to them. He knows who he's talking to. He knows who he's talking to.
But then why are we bojangling for it?
I don't think we. But here's what I don't own. I'm prepared to own all the bad things we do if I equally own the good things we do. We'll own a nigga doing some shit, but we don't own Obama. We don't own our luminaries. We don't own our scholars. I'm an individual. I can look at things in a fairly sober and direct manner. I am proud of us. When I hear people say, I am proud of what politically black women have done. So we know that 90%, over in the 90% of black women vote Democratic. They're the most educated, the most entrepreneurial, the most upwardly mobile. They have more black women have been appointed to the appellate court than in this administration at any time in history. All the other administrations combined. They've lifted themselves out of poverty because of the Child Welfare Act. They have a Supreme Court justice and they have a vice president. What do black men have? Nobody sits on the Supreme Court and fights our causes. And it's because they are action motivated and we are grievance motivated. What didn't you do? They see further than us. Now, I don't want that to be the case. I'm jealous that they've done it. But I would be a fool if I didn't recognize what they did and tried to learn from it.
So what do you think, so going back to the DJ Khaled part, what do you think is his absent-mindedness in the whole conflict?
I can't, and I said this again, I don't know what's in your head or your heart, I know what's on your timeline. And your timeline tells me what you want me to know. It says what you want to see.
But do you think people are in the culture and in our business, are we conditioned to be afraid to step out and stand on what we believe in?
No, I think it's worse, more insidious than that. They think that's cool.
Really?
They think being oblivious. There is nothing more American than being overweight, excessive, and oblivious. Nothing.
Intentionally?
Nothing. Not even intentional. It's a product of America. You know you've arrived when you're overweight, you don't know shit, and you don't give a fuck. There's nothing more American than that. Nothing.
So before we even got out here, I got a call from the White House, and I had the audacity to look at DL and say, "Do you know so-and-so from the White House?" Of course he did, and they got on the phone. And then I heard her trying to tell him about me and Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden has done a lot for the country. I don't think he's done a great job of telling the story or us paying attention
You're
to
absolutely.
it.
We have no disagreement.
Okay. I like Kamala Harris personally. I think she has a horrible problem connecting to the culture and
I don't think
communicating.
that's true at all, but I agree with your overall point.
Behind the scenes, I think when
But not even that. I agree. You're very young.
Okay.
I
am not very young.
Okay, but I'm just in context.
But school me. But let me finish the part. I like Kamala privately, but I feel like I think there's an undue burden. We did a story on Hollywood Unlocked saying how black people have been bamboozled to basically not support Kamala Harris. I know Kamala from when she was, state or whatever.
Of course.
And when she was in the Senate, we loved her. When she was a DA, we hated her. And now she's vice president, we believe she should be the president. We know it's unfair how she's being treated. But I do feel like when you're the first female and first black, there is an expectation of you to, connect.
It's unrealistic. She's still the vice president of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Do you know why you get to be the vice president of the United States of America? Because you give something to me, but you don't threaten me. And the minute you threaten me, you ain't the vice president again. Mm-hmm. Mike Pence won't be the vice president again.
Right.
I had a dinner with Kamala, and I was angry with her. One, about what was happening in Gaza, and I had a chance to say what I said. The other is I grew up in California. I watched that 3 strikes law decimate my community.
She didn't create that.
Exactly.
But she got blamed for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I talked to her, I had to say to her, I'm sorry that I had co-opted a narrative. You know what made me the saddest and the angriest? I believe what they told me about black women, and I've known black women my whole life. Mm-hmm. How the fuck did I let them tell me what I know? Mm-hmm. I had to apologize. She'll tell you, I apologize to her. Mm-hmm. And I'm committed to make sure that people understand that this narrative they force upon her is one that I find untrue. I think that the one thing I've noticed about black women and known about them, they are never historically wrong. Mm-hmm. Never. Black women have very few times, and I can't think of any time in history, they've been on the wrong side of history.
Not even Megan Thee Stallion?
I'm talking about as a collective.
I'm just had to throw it.
We'll
get there.
I ain't saying brides don't do crazy shit. Yeah. I'm talking about as a collective when they make a decision.
Yeah.
They are on, because they are, and I don't like this to be true. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm a fucking chauvinist. But the fact that these brides are able to do shit I've never seen before.
Did you say broads?
Yeah, irks the shit out of me. And it's fucking awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm like, how y'all doing some shit I never seen done before?
Yeah.
And do it like they ain't loud, they ain't saber-rattling, they ain't bellicose. They just like either do this or this ain't gonna happen.
Right.
And so I have to see and say out loud what I see.
Well, listen, let me be very clear. I like Kamala personally. I always say to my friends who say, "Oh, she locked everybody up." No, if whoever said don't drive in a 50 and a 25, you don't like them. But the cop that pulled you over for driving 50, that's not the person that you should be mad at. So we know Pete Wilson. If you really pay attention, who created?
We are so ready to believe the worst about us.
Facts.
I
agree with that.
It is so ready to believe the worst. Like if I hear one more person tell me black on black crime, crime is about proximity.
Yes.
It was a phrase coined by the Chicago Defender in 1970, and everybody's co-opted it. Mm-hmm. Everybody else tell me, we're like crabs in the bucket. The only quintessential part they leave out is crabs don't belong in a fucking bucket.
Right.
Never anything that was in these circumstances in a limited space with all these people fighting for resources would do exactly the same thing. It is no different than what goes on in your garden. You got a garden full of roses and a garden full of weeds. And the weeds will choke the roses off. Not because they hate plants. Yeah. It's because we're fighting for resources. Yeah. And when they ascribe a particular moral deficit on us, and we buy it, it gives credence to the notion we are no more or less than anybody. Mm-hmm. And when I watch people like Kanye, who gleefully royals us in front of white people, I have a disdain for that. I will not abide. So I was head of media for Kanye West, and in the midst of that work, DL
there was this whole back and forth online. You had a lot to say, and I didn't know. I wore red in honor of DL today. This isn't because I'm running for city council and they're saying I'm dating a Crip. This is because I'm in the presence of somebody from the community. So hopefully, when I was working with Kanye, one of the things that I initially thought was, okay, I know I'm grounded. I know where I come from. I know what I stand on and believe in. And I just have to believe somebody who God has given so much privilege to in terms of like cultural influence, somewhere underneath all of whatever we've been seeing with the red hat, the slavery's a choice, there has to be somebody I could reach. And I tried. And I think in the midst of that, there were a lot of yes men around him, but you were somebody who was able to just pierce through that by calling out the bullshit. Why did you choose to do that?
First off, it was to me that I think that the first thing he did when he said slavery was a choice, that shits on the millions and millions of people that died so we could be here. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I didn't understand the larger point, but we don't live in a world of nuance. We live in a world of black and white. And those men took that phrase, took it to these conservative platforms and said, even he knows niggas ain't shit. Mm-hmm. You can't do that in my estimation. Mm-hmm. And what he did to Kim, I don't have any connection to her. I don't know her. I'm not a fan in particular. But when you stalk a woman and you threaten somebody else, I got daughters. If you did it to my daughters, you'd have to see me about it. Mm-hmm. All of us have had women leave us. Well, you gave. Well,
they all left. I left all of y'all. Got the hell out. By the way, DL told me it was gay for me to sip out this straw. I'm gonna be sipping out this gay ass straw the whole show. And I ain't gonna lie, every time I've sipped what you see me sip, I be like, I'm sipping when he ain't looking, cause I don't want it to be weird.
When you see a dude like, what was you saying? Bye.
But I'm so gay, I'm like, why do we have an orange straw? Like, why couldn't we have a red straw to match?
But know what I appreciate about you the most?
Yeah.
I've met very few people who are comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
And I think the reason people, if you look at what happened to the LGBTQX community, it wasn't marching and fighting, and it was that people saw them as like Will and Grace and Glee and The Ellen Show. Mm-hmm. They went, I know motherfuckers like that.
Yeah.
And so they became human to us.
But that was all white. Now, black, what TV does is you got to have a purse, heels, makeup, and you got to be like Billy Porter with a goddamn chandelier on your face all day.
Even at that, and I don't disagree, but even at that, most people know gay people. Uh-huh. Most white people know gay people. Most black people. Most white people don't know black people.
Right.
They don't. So there's no connection to them. Mm-hmm. So we're not quite as human as the experiences that they had. Mm-hmm. So I think the best you ever do is convince people that you're human. When George Floyd got killed in front of our very eyes, America couldn't deny that was a human being. And our quest is to make people see us as human, not better, not worse, not morally bankrupt, and not kings and queens, human.
But don't you think, like, going back to Kamala Harris, when she says as the black vice president, or first female black vice president, that America's not racist, when you see that, when you see George Floyd.
That's a function of what it is.
But when you see George Floyd get his life taken from him by a white police officer in front of the world to see it, and then you have the black vice president saying it's not racist, we know what it is.
That's almost like McDonald's, and you own a franchise, and you want to make your own sauce. Mm-hmm. When you're the vice president or a political official, you got to make what the kitchen's cooking, baby. You can't just make your own fucking recipe. Mm. Own a franchise and see if you can do what you want. Mm-hmm. The presidency, the political apparatus is a franchise. This is what we do. We make this here. Mm. Either follow the recipe or don't do it.
But can't you make the food with the same recipe but say the sauce don't taste right?
You can, but you can't get reelected.
Right. So that's the decision you have to make.
Obviously. Let's be clear. First, Obama was against gay marriage. Then he was for it.
Well, then the White House was rainbow. I ain't never seen no shit like that.
So the thing that's interesting is you might believe what you believe. You ain't gonna say it because every first term president's goal is a second term.
Well, when Trayvon Martin died, he said if I had a son, he looked like Trayvon Martin, but he didn't say he died because he was black.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that is where people like you and me come in. Mm-hmm. we dot the I's and cross the T's. There are people who are not in the business of that. It's not, and I can't begrudge them for their career path or for their calling, but what I won't do is castigate them, because I understand that what they are doing, when people say they hate politics, everything we've accomplished, or even haven't accomplished, has been through the political apparatus.
Facts.
It ain't marching. You don't march so people feel good. You march so people are motivated to act politically. So I think I'm sober and clear-headed enough to understand the dynamics that are at play.
So when Kanye says George Floyd died of fentanyl and then aligns himself with Candace Owens, I mean, that was for me like the time to bounce. Like right before that. It was right before that.
But he had that. That's the thing. I disliked Kanye before he disliked Jews. I always knew that. I resent the fact that nobody ever asked me about how racist they called him when it was just us.
What they call who?
How racist they thought he was racist when it was just us. When you said, talked about Rosa Parks and her and denigrated, the slaves that had a choice and all the other things that he said.
And wore the red hat.
So they didn't think that was a big deal because it was transactional. It wasn't walking down the street. All of a sudden, when he said they didn't like, now let's cancel him. And first off, I'm not for canceling anybody.
Right, me neither.
I think that, and first off, even if they never bought another shoe, he's gonna make some dope ass music.
Yep.
And that's the allure about people that are that talented. This is what talent would do. The minister of music in heaven, if you believe what you read in the Bible, was the most beautiful, talented angel there. And he was so beautiful and talented, he taught other angels to attacking God. He said, you know what? We can take heaven. So if you can make angels believe they can take heaven, then you believe, because they're talented, he can make other people believe what they believe. And I think I understand the allure of talent and the pool of talent. But the thing that irritated me the most is when people go, oh, his mother died. If life worked the way it's supposed to, all of our mothers and fathers will die. All of them. If it works the way it was intended, they will die before us.
When you said that, going back to Kim Kardashian, you weren't her friend, you didn't know her like that, but when you said you thought he was stalking her.
He was stalking her.
If you watched the social media at the time, because I feel like there were people around him because I was around there at the time, that were gaslighting him to post. He was so consumed with her, with Pete, with everything, right? I understood him being upset with Pete Davidson driving around on golf carts with his kids sitting on his lap and tattooing. I mean, that was shit that any man would be upset about, but it was consistent with the idea that she was stalking. Why do you think he thought it was okay?
I don't, because I think that when you're that talented and that exalted, you feel like anything you do is acceptable. But ultimately, we will all. I know what it's like to want something and it not want me back. I know what it's like to try to force that thing to want me and try to scare everything around that thing.
To control it?
To control it. It is about ownership. I know what that feels like. I think every person knows what that feels like. But I have daughters now. The world looks different to me now. I have talked to Pete and saw how I just think at a certain point we cannot abet conduct that endangers the very people that we hold the most high. If we love our daughters, most women who are shot in America are shot by somebody that loved them. They love them. Most women in America are abused by the people who love them. I'm not putting myself above that thing. I'm telling you, I'm aware of it because I see it all the time. But if you have a megastar doing things like that, then it allows other people to think it's okay to them. The very same thing that makes corporations say, sell my product, is the very same thing that abets the thing. Like, well, I want her and she won't. Like, either it's Romeo and Juliet or restraining order. So I felt like it was wrong. I didn't feel like, and I feel like The gig is I'll say what I believe and we'll see what happens.
Well, this is what people didn't see. So he had posted on the social media, because we all know when COVID happened, you were one of the first people who had affected in a very public way. You fell out on stage.
Well, you had to say it like that, but okay, fuck it, since we're here.
You fell out.
You could have said passed out. This nigga fell out. You can tell you from Stockton.
Fell out. No,
and I was gonna get money to your campaign, but fuck it now.
and then he posted that you're a drug addict, Willie Lynch. I mean, he just talked the crazy shit. And what people didn't see behind the scenes that I saw, and I didn't hear from him, I just, I'm in the streets. You really are, I'm from
135th and Avalon, for sure.
He from the streets. And there were lots of conversations happening and lots of people making sure that things just calmed down.
Well,
is that fair?
What made me, yes, but what made me particularly upset, I don't care what we argue about.
Yeah.
Well, my woman wouldn't be able to go home because he said where I lived.
He put your address out there?
He didn't put the address, but he said I lived in where I lived. And my wife was in a parking lot telling me, hey, nigga, we got to talk. And it turned out some of the people I knew, some of the people he knew, we ended up having a conversation. And he said, I'm trying to get my woman back. And you said I'm a stalker. And I said, I believe you to be one. And we started arguing. And fuck you, and I had you killed. You won't do it, nigga. It was that bad.
No, I was aware. I ain't no, look, I got the red on for sure. I ain't in all of that. I don't want no problems. But no, I heard it got heated. It got heated.
I don't listen, I'm not gonna say some shit to you that I ain't gonna say to you if I'm talking to you. And after it's over, I remember Wack going, hey nigga, you burn out. Nigga, what's wrong? Like, and me and Wack got into a heated discussion.
Yeah.
But the thing, but what people also don't know is about Kanye and Wack, which I have to be fair about, is I was in Nobu and I just finished gig and I'm at Nobu with my family and the Thelonious dude walked to me in a bathroom. And I'm like, nigga, what? Like it was some weird shit. And the next day it was talking about I stepped to DL and Kanye had Wack call me and he like, we didn't have nothing to do with it. And I never thought you did. As diametrically opposed as we were on that particular issue, I could tell you from LA because he's as solid as they come.
Wack. Oh yeah. Wack's the one
as solid as they come.
Wack's the one that introduced me to Kanye, and Wack's the one that told me y'all resolved it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and I had already respected you, but you really do stand on what you say. That's why when you say being afraid, I don't get. That's not what I get.
Well, being afraid doesn't mean you won't do it.
Yeah.
It isn't brave to do shit you know you can do. You don't never know. It is a calculating human being that believes they'll only do things if they know what the outcome is going to be. I've never prayed to God for victory. I've never said, God, please give me victory. But what I've always prayed to him for is for me to make a good accounting of myself, for me to be able to stand as straight and strong as long as I can.
Ironically, he was attacking you because you were calling out how he was treating his woman, and you were going after him because you were trying to protect yours.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Interesting. So now every comedian is fighting right now.
And I hate that I've been involved in that.
But even before that, so you're a king of comedy. There's the kings of comedy. There's the queens of comedy. The kings of comedy, you, Cedric, Bernie, and Steve. The most iconic, there's the kings of comedy. There's Eddie Murphy Raw. I mean, I don't go all the way back.
Those are all watermarks. Yeah.
Iconic. Like if it doesn't rise to that level, it shouldn't be out.
Right.
When you became one of the kings of comedy, when there's four of you that are all equally great, and some would say you were better than some on there, and I'm not even going to go there. Right. How do you decide who goes in what order?
Well, I never was involved in that. And the thing about the Kings of Comedy that nobody really realizes, I had just shot a special called Going Home that we shot in Charlotte in August of that year. 3 months later, we had been on tour. And I was touring with the very act that I had shot for HBO because it hadn't been out. They tell us we're going to do a comedy special. So I had to write a comedy special in 3 weeks. 30 minutes of new stuff. So I can't honestly say it was the best stuff I could have done. It was what I had to do. But, so I had an hour that I just written that just aired, and HBO won't even let me have it now because it's theirs. It's called Going Home. Then I had to write a 30-minute special, and I remember not even having it to the day of the special and talking to Spike Lee and telling him I don't think I could do it. And so that's the thing I remember the most about it, is not knowing what I was going to say because I was so unfamiliar with the material. But when I think about the Kings of Comedy, I think about it in the way that you watch your wedding videos or you watch your high school yearbook. It lives in a fine place in my mind, but I couldn't tell you one joke I told. I'm not connected to it because I think if you live in where you were, you don't give yourself a chance to grow to where you can be. So when people reference the King of Comedy, it's nostalgic to me. It just doesn't live where I am now.
But you understand it being iconic.
I get it. I get it. And iconic means it's etched in my mind. But I'm very proud of those men. I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish. I'm very proud of what we told the world. And so every time I hear it, feelings of pride and history come up, but I'm not necessarily connected to what it is. Me and Sayed have toured more. Me and Steve are very close with frat brothers. Bernie, of course, I was very close to on the tour, and he is unfortunately gone. But whenever I hear their names, even in whatever context, the fact that I know these men and I have went to war with these men, as much as that means, obviously I'm not co-opting the war phrase because I don't want people to get caught up in that. But we've made history together, and I'm always very fond and proud of them. And when I see something that is the opposite of what I know about them, it hurts my feelings. But I'm proud of what we've done. I'm just not married to it.
What we're seeing with comedians right now, has it always been messy like this?
Yes.
Really?
It's always been messy, it just didn't have the apparatus for expounding.
With social media?
I don't know if it's just social media. I think people blame radio and then moving pictures and then then they blame video games for violence. So we should blame Pac-Man for being fat. But I do think there is a voracious appetite for mess. One of the reasons I was very diligent and deliberate about where I come to you and I don't want to do nothing messy. If I want to go to mess, I go to my family reunion. I go home.
Or Club Shay Shay. Because at this point, I'd say to Shannon Sharp, I'm a fan of Shannon Sharp and I'm a fan of Club Shay Shay, but I'm seeing the evolution of it. And I think what I do, I get the clicks and the virality because I started just dragging, going viral. And that does put you in a certain category that's very different than where I think that show started out. But it's evolving into
But you know why that show started out that way? Because black men, saw what Skip Bayless did to Shannon Sharp on Undisputed.
Yeah.
And we wanted him to know we got you. And my problem with it is that the very men who appeared on that show, when it wasn't as huge as it was, did it out of a sense of trying to help a man out. And everything they said was curated and basically used against them in another interview. That's problematic for me. I think that Wendy Williams didn't get off air. She just got a weight set in a list. I think that's how messy it is. And not him, because he's my favorite. I was a huge fan of the Denver Broncos. I followed him even when he went to the Ravens. He's one of my favorite NFL players. I do not like, and I would never go on that show, not because I don't like him. I do not want to be asked about the bullshit that happened before me. I don't want to have to comment on that. I don't want to have to fight about that.
But what was it, the Katt Williams show that it changed? Because that's when I noticed.
I don't know. I can't. I think that undeniably that's a phenomenon. Undeniably that's a phenomenon. And you talked about this earlier, Jason. I hate that my name is in this bullshit about comedians. Now, I respect all of as a matter of fact, this is something I've never said before. Said, and I have toured a long time, I have never, ever heard anything said bad about him. to the extent that I was mad. I'm like, how come nobody ever say bad about me? When Katt said something bad about me, I was so happy. I was like, nigga, finally. I'm so glad niggas know who you are, nigga. I'm finally. And I was so gleeful, and it was funny between us. He cracked up laughing. What I didn't anticipate or countenance, and I can't countenance, is how it affected. I love his woman. I love his children. I love the image that he has built for himself. And to see it under assault hits me a different way. Steve was different because, Steve is like me. Ain't nobody, you know how much bad shit people have said about, like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, he's the guy, so it wasn't as impactful for me. Ricky, Earthquake, but Katt, I used to play, Katt, this is what people don't, Katt would play golf. We play golf at Calabasas. True story. He could point the wrong way and the ball would go the right way. I'm like, nigga, that's not. And I first couple of times we played Katt, the hole's that way. Nigga, he don't care. I've never seen anybody hit a ball the wrong way and it go the right way.
Yeah.
That's who he is. That's his golf game is indicative of the way he does things and sees the world. So there's a love and respect for that. But I will say this. I despise the notion that just because you sit on a couch means that you're the fucking arbiter of truth. Just because you say it first don't mean it was true. It's called club shay shay, not court shay shay. When's the last time a nigga told the truth at a club?
Right. Drinking brown juice.
Right.
Too.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So,
but with the internet now, nobody fact checks, nobody cares.
But
it's
they don't
a
have
clip-based
to.
World because once it's out there, we want to digest more and more of that.
Right. We have an inexhaustible appetite for bullshit. And I love all those men. I love them. Like, literally love them. If you told me, when my agent calls and he says I have a date with Earthquake, Steve, George Lopez, Said the Entertainer, or Eddie Griffin, I don't even ask what the money is. I say yes. That's how much I love those people.
And isn't that what the camaraderie of that community is like? Because, I don't know, Club Shay Shay in that episode with Katt Williams, for me, has like added a different lens of what the comedy world. I didn't know it was like that.
I think it's not a fair example. It's a slice of life for us. And we've always been, like anybody, has been competitive.
That was like a Blueface and Krishan interview.
Well, it was like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. It was like anybody who's competitive. I just didn't like how predatory and messy it was. And I hate that I was involved. I hate that my name came. It galls me that my name was involved in that. And that I'm sitting at home, somebody mentions you, and you're like, wait a minute, and
for those who missed it, do you want to say, what did he say?
Well, here's what I will say.
Yeah.
That whatever was said is not for me.
Yeah.
Whatever was said opened up a wound in my daughter that we're arguing about right now. I've never had much in my life, but the love of my children I've always had. And something jeopardizes that, I can never forgive you for it. Just for some bullshit.
And the interview wasn't even intended for you, so
how did you work?
What was that even interview about? I mean, was it just?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't tell you what it was about. I can tell you this: that before it happened, I knew it was happening because my daughter called me, my youngest called me, and like, this is gonna happen, and she's in therapy and crying because she knew that people were gonna automatically know about what had happened to her before and what, and it makes it just. I'll never forgive you for that. That now I'm in a compromised situation where I'm with something I genuinely love. I ain't loved a lot. I love my children, and to feel like I couldn't protect them, and that plays out over and over again, it's something I won't forgive you for. I won't.
And the thing,
it's just it was transactional. To do what? I write jokes. I talk shit. Come to see me. I write jokes. I've done 11 comedy specials. I write fucking jokes. This is what I do. I could never mention that person's name and still be funny. I don't have to do that. But when you take something from me that I've never had before, in full display, just for your own pleasure, I fucking hate you for that. I hate that happened. I hate that she did it to them. So.
Well, the thing about that show, that interview in particular, like I was watching it, and what Shannon Sharp did, what I don't like when people try to do what we do, is you have to stand on it. If you want to be messy, be messy. But don't be messy and go, well, why is everybody mad? I was just giving them a platform. If you give somebody a platform and then you go, really? Tell me about it.
He pushed back harder when he was on this Undisputed and Skip said something he didn't like. He wasn't quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So be the same. Listen, this is here, there, whatever. I can say this. I say what I believe. I stand on it. I'm comfortable with people, how they feel about it. I can't countenance that much negativity in a space that is detrimental to so many people I've loved. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. And I don't like that it is the fare of the day. Mm.
Yeah, that show was wild.
Yeah.
Is Katt Williams one of the kings of comedy?
Katt Williams is one of the, and this is not even, this is real spill. He's one of the greatest people I've ever seen do what he does. Mm-hmm. Ever. So I can't ascribe who does what, when, how. People decide that. It's like when somebody calls themselves a genius. I don't know that. Mm-hmm. I know that I have watched everybody, or watched many people from all kinds of genres, and he would register in any era. So I don't know what that means to people. I know he's one of the best I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. So, and you guys are friends?
Yes.
Still. Okay. So the Club Shay Shay interview you're talking about with Monique and whatchamacallit, the guy. We're gonna get into.
Yeah, but you're
just in the show in general.
Yeah, I'm talking about how I end up in an interview on Club Shay Shay with Monique. Yeah. Where I had, why am I in this?
I remember when, I recently on my podcast talked about Monique, because Monique was going to come on one of my last shows, and she had privately recorded Tyler Perry, and she sent me the audio clips, and she wanted to put it out, but she wanted to do an interview. And then they didn't come, and then they were supposed to come. It was a mess. And the thing that I thought was interesting was like the way she was treating us in the show and just disregarding her commitments was. It was, my sweet babies. It was this passive aggressive, nice nastiness situation that I had experienced. So when I saw what was happening between you all, in particular, that when it first started with that event where you all were you were going to headline something.
Well, let's be clear.
Yeah.
That event was precipitated by a thing where she said she appeared on my radio show. Mm-hmm. I wasn't there.
They played a game.
They played a game called What Would You Do? Mm-hmm. And she felt so insulted by that game.
So in the game, she was given the option.
And I can't even tell you what the question was because I wasn't there.
I got it. She went on your show. You were not there.
I wasn't there.
And she played a game that all your guests play, right? And the game, as you talked about, Would You Rather? And she was asked if rather would her husband, manager, and sidekick, who's always standing next to her in every video, Sydney Hicks, would have protected sex with Precious director Lee Daniels or unprotected sex with video vixen Karen Stevens, who's Superhead. Right. She got mad about that. She asked that it not air. I think it was cut out or didn't air. And then she still made that an issue. Right. But then targeted you, who wasn't there.
And you know what the biggest mistake I made? Saying yes.
To cutting it out?
No, saying yes to having her on the show. Because you got to remember, at that time, she wasn't welcome very many places. Mm-hmm. I'd always have a level of respect and actually love for Monique. Mm-hmm. I'm like, come on. Even though I'm not there.
Even after she was canceled. She told Oprah
exactly.
to suck her,
So we don't get about that.
Told Oprah to suck her dick.
Right. I'm like, I fuck with you. Come on. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm not there. She says she didn't want the bit to run. The bit didn't run. Mm-hmm. What are we arguing about?
Right.
It wasn't because you called your lawyer. Fuck your lawyer. I got lawyers. Yeah. It's because somebody I respect and love said you shouldn't do that. But then you make it an issue. Mm-hmm. You decide you're going to make something that never aired only became public because you said it should.
Nobody knew about it.
Exactly.
Then why you didn't drop it afterwards?
Then the day we played Detroit, all I had to do was say no. Yeah. I'm not going to play it. Yeah. But I still stupidly went, nah, we different. So if I thought I had any antagonism for you, if I were trying to fuck over you, why would I expose myself to bullshit unless I believe that I was being cordial or respectful to you? Why would I do it?
But once she said don't air it and then you don't air it, how does there become a beef then?
I don't know. You got to ask her. But I can tell you this. If I'd have said no 2 times, I'm not in it.
Right.
And you know what I'll never do? I'll never not do what I've always done. I'd rather get fucked over and have to deal with it than be a different man than I've always been.
But if the Bible says you know better, you do better, why wouldn't you do it?
Because I'm a man who believes that the one time I say no could have been the right time to say yes.
Mm-hmm. So she says don't air it, you don't air it. You're not even there. You don't even ask the question. No. But then you get drugged into a beef that you don't start. And did that come out before the event that you were headlining that you brought her into?
Listen. Here's the truth. I ain't gonna work with nobody I don't want to work with. I won't do it.
Well, you don't have to.
I won't.
Yeah.
How did we get on the show together? Mm-hmm. Unless I said yes. Mm-hmm. If you were the headliner, I'd have needed you to say yes. Mm-hmm. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know anything was wrong until I was on stage and she was shitting all over me. And the first thing I said, my manager came up.
Wait, while you were there?
I had no idea what was happening until my road manager, Lou Oliver, came up and sweat was on the top of his head. Man, this motherfucker crazy. I had no idea what was happening.
But you're in the building.
I was in the building.
And she's on the stage
upstairs,
talking shit.
But I had no idea. I come downstairs, he tells me what happened. I go downstairs and I go, what was happening? Here's her problem. Here's to me. Fuck me, fuck everybody. Write a joke.
Yeah.
Be fucking funny. Mm-hmm. Be funny. You asked for this Netflix special and then you shitted the bed. You didn't tell one fucking joke.
Right.
You cussed like they were giving you snacks after every time.
It wasn't.
So don't sit up and tell me. And here's the thing. She made a great point about how women are not appreciated.
Wait, can we talk about the Netflix special wasn't good?
It wasn't. And here's my problem with that. You were right when you raised the point that women aren't appreciated. Mm-hmm. They're under respected. That the onus one's on you to be even better, to be worth every minute of it. It was the most unremarkable bullshit I've ever seen. Fuck being mad at me or Tyler Perry or Oprah. Write a goddamn joke. You got a daddy and a pen.
Her manners are daddy.
So don't be mad at everybody else. And when she said, when she was on talking about my trailer caught on fire, maybe it's from the sparks from all the bridges you burned up. You know how God used to talk to his people? With fire. Mm-hmm. When the bush caught on fire, God was saying, hey, look, that's enough.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not, what I'm not going to do, I have tried to be as cordial as possible. Now, I got beef in my own fucking circle because of some shit you decided to do. Mm-hmm. So now we have to finish the goddamn dance.
So you're at the venue, you're in your thing, getting ready to go, you're headlining, you welcome her into your world.
And she's in the midst on me for 15 minutes.
But then when you found out what she said, then you went out there and did what? Did you respond?
I told jokes.
You did, yeah.
Because that's what I do.
But you didn't bash her.
I said, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
I said, what did I miss?
Yeah.
And she sat there on the side of the stage waiting for me to implode. I'm a fucking man. Why would I? Mm-hmm. And I despise the notion that somebody dragged my name in. The only reason I'm in these conversations is because I said yes to you when I shouldn't. Mm-hmm. When I said yes to you when everybody around me said I shouldn't. Mm. If I'd have said no, we ain't having these conversations. Mm-hmm. But because I believed you were worthy of grace, I gave it to you. And 2 times, you made me the impetus of your anger. Mm-hmm. You on a show, somebody says something to you, you don't like it, I kill it. I say yes to a gig, I shouldn't say yes to you get mad about a contract. I wouldn't take a gig if I didn't know what the deal was. Mm-hmm. I should have took the gig, but I did it. And I will never let somebody put me in a position where I'm not who I am. I will always take the L for somebody I believe in.
When you take a gig with somebody and it's your gig, where do you go? How do you go after that person? You go before that person. So why does that, was that her ego?
I can only tell you this. Everything I've said is what I believe to be true. Everything else is something else. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I hate it coming up as a narrative when somebody, if you can say yes or no, you are the fucking person that the contract is based on. Mm-hmm. If she didn't need me to say yes, we're not having this conversation.
Right.
I never need to work with her. Mm-hmm. Never. I never need, well, she's on tour with Katt. You know why you can be on tour with Katt? Because you're available. Mm-hmm. You couldn't call me right now and say, go on tour with me. No, nigga, I'm booked. Mm-hmm. So let's be clear. And I think there's so many people who are just as angry and fucked up as her that she's their Ahab. But she has done horrible things to a lot of people for no reason at all. And all those people did was try to help her. Mm-hmm. What am I guilty of? Saying yes? Mm-hmm. What am I guilty of? Telling you I would work with you? What did I do that was so horrible that you dragged my fucking daughter's business through the goddamn streets? Mm-hmm. What did I do to you? Besides believe that you deserve the chance. Mm-hmm. Is that a horrible thing?
But I think it's the very thing that makes us as a culture go, I ain't fucking with y'all.
Right.
You know, which is the bad.
And it makes me not want to fuck with nobody else. But I'm a fucking man. I'd rather take it on the chin. Mm-hmm. And, well, no offense, I'm talking to
as I sip.
I really would.
First of all, what you're not going to do.
I'd rather be wrong than a coward.
Yeah.
I really would.
So you talked about it. I wasn't going to bring it up, but since we're there. So she brings up your daughter having gone through a very personal experience where she was victimized.
My daughter's so angry with me, she hasn't spoke to me in weeks.
Still from that?
Yep.
But it wasn't you that brought that.
Doesn't make a difference. When somebody's gone through something, they don't want.
It's their trigger.
And when they're triggered, what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, you lash out. Yeah.
And who's the best person to lash out at? Me.
But why are you the bearer of that burden?
Because I got a daughter I love, and she got somebody she needs to be mad at. Mm-hmm. It's the way it goes.
And when Monique put that business out there, and the way she did it in a very nice, nasty, it's that throw your rock, hide a hand. I don't know how to explain passive-aggressive way.
No, it's not passive-aggressive.
She intentionally did that.
She did. Because I have no idea why. And what I don't understand is why my daughter's trauma would win an argument for you in a contract dispute. I don't get it. I'm not a victim at all. I take the fucking slings and arrows where they are. Mm-hmm. Not her. I ain't talking about you or your people. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about, she talked about my dog. She said, he has a service dog. I ain't got a service man. I bet you my dog does more for me than that dude does for her. But we're here now. Mm-hmm. And we're here now because you've taken me out of my character. Because you put me in a place when I'm angry about having to be on outs with somebody I love. Mm-hmm. So fuck everything else.
But everybody, the world watched you defend your daughter. She saw it. I'm sure she sees you.
I don't know if she sees anything, but I tell you this.
I mean, you were fighting for her. You were fighting to protect her.
I hate the position I'm in right now. Mm-hmm. I hate it. For no reason at all. If I knew you were that mad about a fucking headline, I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. I got jokes, so it don't make me no never mind who goes before me. You break something I built over 30 years, mm-hmm. and you think it's cute, fuck you forever. Mm-hmm.
So you've been very open about years ago having infidelity, cheating on your wife.
Of course.
But you and your wife worked through all that over the years.
Here's the thing.
Why she go after your wife too? Is it just hit as low as I can go?
I can't tell you that. And I am not a fucking, you know why I'm not an angel? Because it doesn't interest me. It doesn't interest me to be ethereal and above the fray. I've done horrible shit. And I didn't quit because I didn't like doing horrible shit. I just got tired of breaking things. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I don't think, listen, I was watching the movie Carlito's Way. He said, I didn't quit because like he said, I ran out of wind.
Right.
I'm just tired of breaking shit.
But I think that's the evolution of us as men, as people anyway. Like we all go through, I'm going through my phases now. I mean, I did a lot of crazy stuff when I started. I mean, it is what it is. But the thing that I think stands out from this whole situation is, one, comedians make us laugh.
Right.
And I feel like she lives in this weird world of smoke and mirrors where like you all day long, all I hear is how Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels ruined your life, and now it's almost like you're on a mission to try to ruin everybody else's.
Listen. I have done horrible things. You know why you know I did them? Because I said it. Mm-hmm. You know why you could talk about my daughter? I said it. I hate that I did it because I thought that I was just being open. But I forgot, in that instance, being open hurt somebody I love. Mm-hmm. Mistake, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. But I had no concept somebody would take that and destroy it.
And weaponize it against you. Yeah.
I didn't. Now, I can't say, like, it's almost like you can't say no or yes. You can't take anything back. I live with it. So it is what it is. But it is the first time I've ever said anything. It was like, damn, I shouldn't have said that. The very first time in my life. Mm-hmm. And not because I didn't mean it, because of the impact of it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but where do you get the strength to not burn the world down? Because, I mean...
Well, I'm going to try to.
In jokes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Listen, I think the world should hurt. I think that it is full of itself. I think it gets to pretend like the things that it sees aren't true. And I think that the world needs a little... You know why we're fat as a country? Is because we like sugar. Mm-hmm. We're addicted to painkiller because we can't take pain. Mm. We are numb to the things that matter to us because we just won't feel anything that doesn't make us feel good. I think that what I try to be is an anathema to that. I try as best I can to spit in the face of all of that bullshit. Mm-hmm. Now, am I successful? No. But it is my goal.
Where does the relationship with you and Monique is over forever?
Forever.
Ever.
I don't ever need to be in her space. Mm-hmm. You cannot do to me, to my children, even if you didn't do it on purpose, the fact that my daughter looks at me a different way because of what happened. And I'm not saying I shouldn't have said it. I'm not owning that. But that you took it out for so trivial a thing. It is like burning down a house because it had roaches. Mm-hmm. I'll never fucking forgive you for that. But I don't have to. I ain't got to be in your space. I will never say yes to you again in any circumstance. Never. So we're good. I understand what the line is.
Now, I don't want everybody to think that I said that her comedy special was bad because he's here.
The reviews said it.
I said it before you guys, and the people said it.
Tell me a joke from it. You can't.
I can, that I watched it. But here's the deal. The gist that I turned it on was a joke. Because it wasn't what blowing powder smoke out your titty. It wasn't Queens of Comedy, Kings of Comedy. It was like you had built up so much drama about not getting the opportunity that when you got it, it just was such a disappointment. The jokes weren't funny. It just everything about it, the creativity wasn't there.
Then we don't need to belabor the point. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't say I'm a hater. Why would I be a hater? I got 11 comedy specials. Mm-hmm. Come see me this weekend anywhere and see if I'm not fucking funny. Mm-hmm. See it.
Well, when do we get back to the jokes? Because like Donnell Rawlings wants to beat up Corey Holcomb.
Well, I think that's the
Mike Epps and Shay Shay was about to.
I think that's apples and bowling balls.
Okay.
Donnell Rawlings, I work with. He makes me laugh.
He's hilarious.
Corey Holcomb is fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. Why would I listen? That's like a cook telling me a cook can't cook.
Right.
Why would I give a fuck about what a cook said? Right. I'm not a cook. I'm a consumer. Uh-huh. I think it's vainglorious for another person, regardless of what I think about somebody's talent or what I pay to see it. There are thousands of people that will. So I don't have to. I'm not the expert in that perspective. The expert is the one who's willing to pay the price to see the thing they want to see. I think I know both those dudes, and they both have made me laugh so hard. that it has annoyed me. You know, when somebody writes a joke or says something so funny, you wish you had said it?
Yeah.
Both them motherfuckers.
They're hilarious.
And I hate them for that.
But what the comedian on comedian crime rate is so high right now. Like, where is that coming from?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Because it's everywhere now.
I think it is. And it's unfortunate. And I have no idea what's coming from. It's like black people got 40 million people. One black person can't speak for all black. That's like Barack Obama. You got a generation of people that got Barack Obama and Lil Wayne. Can't nobody ever. Like, how?
Right.
I can't. I'm sorry that it happened, and I'm particularly sorry my name was in it. I think that all of those men, Donnell Rollins has said me, this is my test. If you said things that made me laugh and mad that I didn't say it, then I know that's a good joke. Mm-hmm. And both those motherfuckers have made me laugh so hard that I was mad I didn't say it. So I don't know what the disconnect is.
So I've told the story when Dave Chappelle's comedy special came out and everybody was mad at him for the trans jokes or whatever. And Rihanna called and said, "You're like the gay Chappelle. I want to know what you think." And I watched it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I remember, Eddie Murphy, Raw, Delirious, Kings of Comedy. I mean, when comedy, before cancel culture, social media, all that shit, we could just, it was escapism into a world where like people were saying the wildest things in a funny way. Now, if a comedian says or says something that is anything uncomfortable for whatever social group that wants to take an issue with it, it's like bad.
And they always do.
Because Donnell Rollins did it at he introduced Dave Chappelle at a private little moment, said put all your fucking phones away because everything I'm about to say I'm gonna get canceled for it. And he said the craziest shit, but it was funny. Yeah. But it was funny
to somebody who doesn't have a fucking dog in the race. And I'm not saying that you're not connected to the experience. You don't have a thing you need to forward. Chuck Berry did this song called My Ding-a-Ling. Look at him getting happy. Look at this.
Nah, it wasn't a gay reaction. I'm just laughing because it was gay.
If you did My Ding-a-Ling now, it would mean something different. Yeah. The thing I lament about this society, I watch people go, you guys are way too sensitive. But you motherfuckers, you used to get mad when somebody drank out of your water fountain. So we lose scope and perspective. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that there are places that people need to go where they can hear profanity and people that are profound. Mm-hmm. That everything doesn't have to be the right thing for everybody. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you want to get fucked up. Right. Sometimes you want some pussy. Sometimes you want to talk loud. There got to be spaces for that. Right. And people think that all those spaces should be homogenized where everybody can go.
But I think we live in a clip-based world now where like if that little piece of that 2-hour special gets seen and goes viral, everything is bad.
It's almost like a tailor-made suit. You've had a tailor-made suit before.
Yeah, of course.
It's made for you.
Yeah.
But if you let somebody else put it on, it was like, it's too small to suit. It ain't made for you. Right. That performance basically was made for that group of people that are there right now. What we have done is projected it out to society and have this subjective. So we made a tailor-made suit for a society that it ain't built for.
But if we do, because we saw remember the earlier onset when Kevin Hart got canceled from hosting the Oscars.
Kevin Hart never really got canceled.
Kevin Hart's never gonna get canceled. No. He's literally everywhere. But I'm saying, remember when they told him he had to apologize for some old tweets?
I thought he should. I think the only people that make you apologize for the way you said shit is bras. I could be right, but you didn't like the way I said it. Mm-hmm. God damn it, I take it from a woman. I ain't finna take it from a whole group of people. Mm-hmm. It was your tone. How many times you was right. Fuck, if you don't like what I said, you have the freedom to not hear what I said. But what you don't want is for nobody to hear what I said.
But not even that. In addition to that, if you crack a joke on your Twitter or whatever about your kids, it's your kids.
Exactly.
So
what
who cares who cares? But how do we get back to a world where that is okay?
It doesn't have to be okay. The one thing a grown man don't need is permission. Mm-hmm. Fuck you grown for? What are you grown for? Mm-hmm. The only time you need a permission slip is when you're a child. I don't need for permission for me to be who I am. You can tell me you don't like what I like. I ain't ask. Forgiveness is way easier to get permission. Fuck a grown man got to ask for permission for. I'm gonna be who I am.
Or instead of asking for permission to host the Oscars, just go build your own award show, which is why we built ours. And but then when you go to talk to our people, they don't understand the power of supporting black, because it's
well,
not.
they don't understand necessarily the power of supporting things they haven't seen before.
Right.
I don't know that it's as specific as you think it is. No one's ever seen. Look, I've been around a long time. I ain't never seen a motherfucker come out of nowhere and got a studio. Like it's just weird.
Yeah.
So it isn't that you connect it to a demographic or genre. It's that we can't know what it is, because what you're doing is like trying to describe a sound. You know how your car is making this thing, and you go to the fucking mechanic and you go, it's making this noise, but the only way he can hear it is if he heard it.
Right.
If you try to describe it to him, he has no idea what it is. That's people.
Right. Okay, well, how do we get them to hear less cancel culture?
Then you got to do this. There are certain people that set to your metric. You fuck with them, and everybody else you don't.
Right.
You don't need everybody to get you. Like, people don't understand. I don't need everybody to get me. Every week, I only need 2,500 people a week to get me. Everywhere I go. When I do the radio show, I only need 8 million people out of the whole country to get me. I don't need everybody.
So earlier we were talking politics, got the call from the White House. I talked to you about Stockton, me running for office. I didn't know you knew Stockton or even been to Stockton.
I'm a Californian, baby boy.
Yeah, but like you were there in the middle of that lawsuit. Well, not lawsuit, but where
my son, who was my son on the radio, on my TV show, DJ Daniels,
yeah.
was, and the interesting thing about it is, I was performing in Sacramento that night. He had come to see me. I was like, hey man, be careful going out here. 2 days later, I hear what happened.
He got involved in a murder.
A murder. I went, and they asked me would I testify. I'm like, hell yeah. When I saw him come out, there were two things. One, I wanted to hug him, and I wanted to knock the fuck out of him. Mm-hmm. Why are we here? But I know this man. I know him. And I love him. And I don't love him because we're on TV. I don't love him because he got me in the city. I love him because I know him. And I know him. And I know his daddy and his mama. Mm-hmm. I've seen shit happen to them. And I watched them. And so when I testified for him, I was testifying a man I know, not some bullshit trying to get some. If I'd have thought he did it, I wouldn't have flew down there. I'd have put money on that nigga's books and left it. I'm not afraid to risk losing a thing because of the things I love. Mm-hmm. And I love that kid. I love him. And I was glad that I was able to say something that secured his freedom, because I know he didn't do what they said he did.
Well, when he got off, some people thought he got off because you were a celebrity or he was a celebrity.
I can rest comfortable. If I thought that, Jason, I'd feel sick. I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't. I know I did what my heart would allow me to do.
How's he doing now? Do you keep in touch?
No, because I'm scared they're gonna fall. No, yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. Yeah.
All right, so all the conversations we have on and off camera, the Daily Show. Why didn't you just do it? Because you know the streets, you know the culture, you know.
That's not up to me. But I will say, when I hosted the Daily Show, Tyree Nichols had been murdered mm-hmm. in front of us on that Thursday, mm-hmm. and I had to do the show that Monday. Mm. So it was interesting that now I had to take what the country was talking about and present it in a way that's humorous. So,
which is impossible.
Nah. I felt as if I would rather service my idea of what things look like than make people comfortable. And so I don't know, but I'm fine with any decision people make about whether they like me or don't like me or believe what I did or not.
Would you do a show like that on like Fox News?
Sure.
That would be great.
I would. Well, I can't tell you the outcome, mm-hmm. but I know that
watching those right-wing people come up there and try to talk to you about.
Well, listen, I don't know what the outcome would be. Mm-hmm. I know what I would be. Mm-hmm. I know what I believe. I don't know what people how people would categorize what I believe. But I'm never afraid to say what I believe, anywhere I believe it.
So your show nationally syndicated. Do you like radio?
I love radio.
Why?
Because it's the closest to comedy I can come.
Can you go all the way out? I mean, you can do you.
No, you can't do you.
I know that's the one thing I didn't like about radio. When I first of all, I violated every rule I wasn't supposed.
Right.
Mine was taped. Yours is taped or live?
It's live.
Oh yeah. So you can't use.
But
the
there are
F-bomb.
different iterations of you. The same you that's out of the club ain't the same you that's the councilman.
Oh no.
Okay, so there are different iterations of you.
Yeah.
So you understand the parlance to the audience you're speaking in. Doesn't mean you're being fake. It means you have another edition of you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great platform too, especially when you're syndicated. But I mean, the money you and Steve were making, I wasn't getting it. That's why I left.
Well, you doing it. Hey, motherfucker.
No, I'm getting it now. No, I'm getting it now. I'm getting it.
Gay straw and you white people.
No, I'm getting here. We
Crazy.
definitely got Marina. She white. No, we are doing it now. But I mean, like when I was navigating through the radio work, because radio.
Everything you were looking for is looking for you, baby boy.
Facts. That's true.
This is where you ended up with the fates planned for you to be.
True. Facts. Okay, so should Chris Rock have gotten $40 million after getting punched by Will Smith?
I think that was the crazy. I think, and full disclosure,
Yeah.
Will put me on.
Oh, wow.
Will put me on. I was his warm up. He gave me an episode. I got seen. Chris was an executive producer on the Hughleys. So I say this, and I love both those men. But if you'd have slapped me like he slapped him, I think one of those Oscars would have been in the evidence locker. I cannot tell you why it happened, but I can tell you this. I know what Will has said about his experiences. I know what Chris has been through when he was savaged, and like Chris got beat up and put in the hospital a couple days before he was on Saturday Night Live. So I thought it was two black men who were traumatized meeting at the same zenith. But I think that when you slap another man like that,
In front of all them
I
white folks, too.
can't say I respected it. And I can't tell you how I don't ascribe any level of nobility for it. If you slap somebody and you walk away from them and you don't look back and you're not concerned, it's because you knew you could do it.
Did you think it was real when you saw it at first?
Yeah.
You did?
I did.
That was wild.
That's the thing I resent is he told a joke. They've been telling jokes like that at the Oscars for 50 years. All of a sudden, that joke that we'll never remember is the one that causes this kind of upheaval.
Do you think Will should have been canceled, though?
I don't think anybody should be canceled.
Right.
I don't think that at all. I think that you shouldn't be glorified. If a man did that to a woman on that very same stage, for even the same reasons, we don't have the same estimation of what happened.
Right.
So let's be fair about our assessment of things.
And then Jada came out with a book and did a tour. When you saw the book and the book tour, what'd you think?
I thought that I cannot begrudge somebody their experiences, right? I can't say what you felt. I remember, like, I want to be on the red table. You better talk at this kids' table. Like you got to understand this. They ain't living it good because of those set it off residuals.
Right.
Ain't nobody buying no Jason's Lyrics box set.
They're living because Will is making up millions and millions of dollars.
Even if you, it's just certain things you do. This is my own personal experience. I don't agree with. I'm not begrudging anybody else their perspective or what their mindset is. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, this is from a couple who's been private for so long, and then it just became,
private till I'm selling the book, and then you wonder why. Like, it seems, I'm just I am not proud of the things I've done, but I'm clear about them. And I don't live above people or think the things I've done are beyond reproach. But I would like to live in a world where we don't deliberately do as much damage as possible for commerce.
Right.
I like to. I don't know that we ever will or that I do, but that's my goal. That's my aspiration.
Sitcom TV, is it still living, breathing?
I can't. I'm developing something right now, and
to go back to sitcom?
And I'm excited because for 30 years, 25 years, I wasn't, because I didn't have anything to say. Now I have a lot to say, and I'm hoping it works.
So you'll star in it, or you'll star and produce?
I started, write, and produce it.
But that's a grind too, though.
But come on.
That's no touring.
No, I will never not tour. Never. I mean, eventually, I guess never is such a finite word. But eventually, I ain't gonna be able to tour, but yeah, I will.
But does the touring keep you sharp on everything else?
It's one thing, Jason. Everything I do is like a meal at Taco Bell. It's all the same ingredients, folded a different way. The enchilada, the taco, the burrito, same shit, folded a different way.
See, Tiffany she said, oh, you should go and do stand-up. The only thing that makes me nervous about doing stand-up is you got to stand out there in front of people. I did
one of the biggest fears on the face of the earth.
Yeah, like when I did Wildin' Out, the first time I went out there, when you get that first laugh, you get more comfortable with it. But, Wildin' Out is different where, this.
Well, I've been doing it for 30-some years, and I still am nervous every time I go out there.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it ever goes away. I don't have the pathway to like avoiding that part of it.
So if you've done everything, you've done sitcom, you've done touring, you Grammy nominated, you have all the awards, you have the whole career. I mean, what else is there to do?
Keep doing it, do it all over again, baby boy.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course. What's the point of doing something once? If you enjoy it, do it again. Do another lap. I love what I do. And I think that what I'm doing right now, I don't know how people will interpret it or intuit it, or it's as clear as I've ever been. I love being clear. And I love being in love with the thing I do.
Mm. Are there 4 new kings of comedy that you would put on as the?
I didn't put us up together. There are 12 people I'd pay to see. So if any combination of those 1, 2, I'd love to see.
Mm. Why don't you put them together? Why don't you guys?
I'm not a put it together. That's what you do.
Hell no. I don't want no beef. Comedians out here nowadays, you used to be afraid of the rappers.
I hate that has become the narrative, but I can understand it.
I don't understand it. And maybe I'm not meant to understand it. Like, I get the rappers, that's why I don't go to the BET Hip Hop Awards, but right now, like, the Club Shay Shay in that interview, it was too much. It was too much.
Not too much,
because now all that is fizzling away. That interview it did the numbers, it burned so many relationships, and then, like, now what? For what?
Try to do it again.
But that's the thing I keep saying to Shannon. Now that you're getting in that, you got to keep delivering that. Because when you get 50 million views and then you go down to 500,000, your mind gets you go back to the 50 million, and then now you're off track of what you intended to do.
Here's the thing. Success is like a weekend. It's like a vacation.
Yeah.
You don't live there. You're grateful when you get to go there.
It's true.
Why do you think that it is this ever-present, consistent thing? Every human being has a whole lot of days they won't remember. A whole lot of days. You remember everything that happened in your life?
No, I don't remember everything yesterday.
You remember the great things
and
the shitty things.
Yeah.
And you will, in your life, have way more shitty things that are imbued in your psyche than good things. But the good things carry you through the days you don't remember, through the days that are painful. If you get 20 good days in your life, you've lived a rich, full life. I'm talking about 20 fucking remarkable, omnipresent. You've lived a fucking great life.
Mm. Well, you've lived a great life too, because you just celebrated 38 years of marriage. Right. I don't know if
I celebrated it.
I haven't celebrated.
I don't know if I celebrated. I think my wife has. I think my wife, and I say this. I think that when people ask me what the secret to that is, it literally is having somebody who knows you and will accept you to the best they're capable of. Mm. I know that I couldn't have married anybody else. I know she could have, and I'm glad she didn't.
Yeah, see, my community, we can't find somebody for 38 days.
Yeah.
38 years.
Well, you got to change the straws, baby boy. You can't.
That's the problem.
Drink out of a glass.
That's the problem. That's the problem. I keep changing the straws. All right, no, look. Okay, so 38 years of marriage, you figure that out. 25 years of hating Eddie Griffin. Y'all are best friends again. Y'all hated each other?
Yes, we did. And now Eddie Griffin is one of my dearest friends. And we hated each other because we were young and and had a experience, and we let that experience rob us, in my estimation, of years of getting to know each other. Me and Eddie calls me up. Now Eddie's insane.
Crazy.
Like,
I mean behind the scenes or with the comedy or both?
No, I mean in general.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't give a fuck what iteration. Like this nigga's insane.
Yeah.
But he's one of the most good-hearted, warm human beings. And every time I see him, I hate that I ever didn't get to know him all those years earlier because of shit that happened when we were young. If Eddie Griffin calls me, if they tell me a date got a gig with Eddie Griffin on it, he's one of him, Sid, Steve, George Lopez, Earthquake. They're one of those people that go, fuck it, I'll do it. And then when you find out what Eddie's doing, you go, wow, shit, I can't believe I did it. But he is, I love this dude. I love the way his mind works. I don't understand the way his mind works. I fucking love him. And I hate that I ever was blinded to the fact that he was a dude that I would cherish in my life.
What about Burt Kreischer? I just met him, and I'm just getting turned on to him. Is he as funny as everybody says?
Yes, consistently. And he's funny that's transferable. He's funny that can write in your voice make you funny.
Really?
That's a fucking talent. I can't do that. I can be funny for me, but nigga, I ain't got nothing for you.
Right. What about Joe Coy? He got attacked.
He's fucking.
But they said he was a bad host of the award show. But is it because that
insane,
audience?
but Joe Coy is an international superstar. He can go all over the world. He just can't make stuck-up pricks fucking laugh.
Yeah, that room was that.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker. And I saw him, and I said, I was proud of what you did. I would never do a show like that. And if I did do it, I would be exactly who I am and let the chips fall what they may. He's a bad motherfucker. That moment ain't gonna define him.
Right.
He gonna go home and cry in a pile of money.
Right. No, and what I love about him and Bert, they really are supportive of Tiffany too.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about, Tiffany. We recently talked about, like, she took me to Selma Hayek's house for Christmas.
Right.
And she's loved and celebrated in white spaces and treated one way, and then I see the culture
I
try
don't think
to
it's this.
tear her down.
I will show you text messages with Tiffany. I love Tiffany. I do not like when she seems anxious. I do not like that she lets the way she perceives people feel about her affect the way she moves. Be who you are. She's a wonderfully warm, empathic, beautifully talented, flawed human being. And that's why we fuck with her. Why do you care about people? She goes to Israel, so what? Why does it have a nefarious purpose?
I don't think she should have called into TMZ to explain anything.
Me neither, but this notion that you feel like people they're only gonna hear what they wanna hear.
Right.
She's a bad motherfucker, man. She's a bad motherfucker. I'm not saying that you shouldn't absorb some of the things that can help you that people say, but if it can only hurt you, why are you fucking with it? I don't agree.
Right.
She's a bad motherfucker. I love her.
Okay, so what's next? You didn't have to come over here today. You gave me all this
Well,
time.
I did because you had good tequila.
No, absolutely. Okay, look, before we let him get out of here, what's next though? What I mean, you don't need promo. You talk about everything.
No, that's I'm very excited about a project I'm doing with this cat, and we're writing a series about my life now, and I have a deal with CBS, and we'll see what happens. But the thing I'm the most excited about is March 6th, I'll be 60. And you know what I learned about myself? I can take a fucking punch. I can last past what I thought I could last past. I can live through my lowest and highest, and I'm excited. I remember it was like, this is weird. When I was a kid, I used to want to be a preacher.
Really?
Oh my God.
What was that pulpit gonna look like?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, exactly now. But I would read the scripture and I would be excited and people go, oh, later on I saw the hypocrisy in it, but I'm excited now at 60 at the way I was when I was a little boy. Although my ministry, if you want to call, and I don't want to be grandiose, but my ministry is clarity. Mm-hmm. I want the world better for my granddaughters. I do. I want black women to be able to bear children and not have their lives be in jeopardy. I want black children to be able to go to school and to play without having their environments polluted. Mm-hmm. The game for me is different. No matter what happens to me politically, if somebody else gets in, my taxes is cut the other way. It doesn't. But if you're not ready, somebody says something. It is the man that plants trees that for the shade he'll never know. Mm. I pray that I'm doing things, that the things I'm doing, I don't have the benefit of, but my children and grandchildren will know I did it. That's how you live forever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but see, that's what when we were talking off camera, that's really where I'm at right now too. You know, like after you have success and levels of success, and then you start looking at
the straw down. Then we're stop that. Then we.
I'm gay. You know, I think, but I do agree that, like, you know, you start to feel that sense of responsibility.
We talked about it earlier. Yeah. I said, and we were talking about how I read an article and it talked about when you get older, the spaces in your head. Some of the spaces that were more problematic close, and the spaces in your head that are more in tune to empathy and sympathy open up. And I could feel that happening to me. Mm. Like, shit would make me sad that it had shit to do with me. Like, why am I sad? Because this gorilla got, like, I don't...
yeah, fact.
I don't give a fuck. I don't even know these people. Mm-hmm. But it is us opening up to the reality that we miss things. The reason why the things perpetuate the way they do is because old men who are in power don't open it up. Mm-hmm. They still hold on to their small-minded, carnal ways, and it costs people's lives and livelihoods and humanity. I want to be, hey man, I ain't no fucking Bible thumper, no proselytizer, nothing like that. I really want the world to be a fucking better place.
Yeah, same.
And I think that I could never do it the way you do. But I think just talking a little shit make it a little better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all are going to do it the way we do it. We just got to do it. And right. When people say, oh, why are you running for city council? Why now? Yeah. You know, and it's crazy, too, when you talk about the optics. So I started making all this money, buying all the bling right. and the Cubans and this and that. Right. Then when I go home and I'm with my people, and I'm like, yo, I call my jeweler, I go, yo, I want to get rid of some of these Cubans, some right. of them, because right. I got a lot of it. Right. I don't need all this, because there's so much more I could be doing with my resources.
That's not, enjoy your shit.
No, I'm enjoying it. I ain't get rid of all. I ain't get rid of all of it. But you know, I'm not a rapper, and not that even matters. It's just that's just not what I'm on right now. I am.
You know why I'm here?
Yeah.
Ain't the fucking bling. It's the shit you got inside of you, baby.
I appreciate that. No, I know, and
I wouldn't give a like fuck all. Like, I don't fuck with people that I can't say I fuck with out loud.
Yeah.
I ain't got no secret friends. I'm proud of what you do. Fuck your outside. Mm. Ain't no jeweler could come up with the shit you trying to do. I don't know whether you'll be successful or not. I don't. Stockson's got a lot of problems, nigga.
Yeah.
It do.
Oh, I'm gonna be calling you. I'm calling everybody.
I'm gonna be drunk then too.
No. Okay, wait. We can't let you go without giving you gifts. We have gifts over here.
You know that's the humidor, right? You understand that, right? So you know this is you don't smoke cigars. Right?
No, I don't. But I mean, when I'm out of the country, I'll do it for a photo. But
and you know that's my name. It's him. You know that's my name. My grandkids go.
We do research here.
When my daughter used to like me.
Yeah, but your granddaughter was the bridge too to build that relationship. She's gonna be the bridge to bring her back. Now the other one. Okay.
I hope so.
She will.
I hope so. You never know.
She will. You will call me. Let's.
Look here, motherfucker.
That's just so you don't have to use a straw.
Come here now. Come here now. See this type of shit right here. You know how they say dumb shit like, "What do you get a man to get everything?"
Yeah.
Something he fucks with.
Look. This goes here, so you can just put it right here.
Hey nigga, come here, man. Come here, man. Come here now. Fuck all this. Come here now, goddammit. Shit. You motherfucker. Come here now. You know what I do. This is it. Now,
yes.
This gonna be on my set.
So Marina found this so you can put your cigar here while you're drinking. It's just
you know I was looking around for the cigars, but fuck it, y'all did okay. This is nice.
Well, the cigar, we were trying to figure out the cigars. We couldn't
It's
get them
only
in time.
one Padron Anniversario, baby.
Yeah. All right. Well, now it's time to get to some games. All right. Here at the show, we play different games. Some of them can go. Some of them can be wild, but even though I know you can go there, This is really simple. This is called Smash or Pass. It's a staple game where typically, if you're not married, we'd be putting Megan Thee Stallion up there and.
No, I'm married. I would.
Oh no, I was gonna put Megan up there and see if you would take a shot.
I would come home late. Let's see.
Dio, you almost done.
I would come home late, baby boy.
The daily on is kicking in. Can you get your paddle on the side right there? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a different.
I'm just gonna keep it like this because everything's probably pretty. No, I'm just kidding.
This is related to DL's fashion game over the years. So we're gonna put up an image. You're just gonna say whether it was a smash at the time or if you could go back.
So I'm gonna keep it like this. Okay, let's see.
Nah, you stylish. Okay, the first look.
I think that was before. It was my Bill Cosby kind of thing, but that was before the indictment, so you can't really, you know what I'm saying? I would.
But at least in the photo, you still got your wedding ring on, and consistent with the cigar. So if you had this then, and you got the wrist piece showing,
for sure, I'm with it. Smash.
And you with somebody white.
For sure. Well, that's not true. That's a hand.
Oh.
We can't prove that that's a white woman.
Could
what do I look like, my son?
I mean, could have been Michael Jackson. All right. Next look.
Pass.
Why?
Because I look like D'Angelo, like on meth.
No, you know who you look like right there? I swear to God, you look like Devontae from Jodeci.
That's even worse.
No.
I like.
Okay, not even the glasses?
Nah, I don't like none of that. I would never wear that now. That's just pass.
Okay, next one.
I would smash, it's cool.
You know what's crazy? The baggy look is in now. Balenciaga, the whole line is baggy.
Yeah, it'll never be for me again. But yeah, that's smash. That was a game. Me and Snoop was at that game. Yeah, smash. I'll take it. I play that. That's smash.
Are those Fila's or not? Oh, those are Jordans. You got on Jordan. Those are Jordan 13?
Of course.
Okay.
Come on now, baby. What?
I mean, I'm gay, but I know what sneakers look like. All right, next.
Smash. The glasses are bad, but I got a little open collar.
Pinstripe suit.
Pinstripe. Yeah, for sure.
Did Steve Harvey give you that one?
Down.
Yo, Steve be
Probably.
Steve's suit game over the years has evolved.
Yeah.
He is sharp.
Yeah. Because the other one used to look like bell bottoms when you walk.
Right. Wait, does Steve really have a unit?
No, he's bald now.
But back then, Katt, see, you got me asking
I'm
these
not
messy.
going to get into that, man.
Yo.
No.
And let me tell the comedians out there, y'all got to continue to ride with DL because he holding y'all down unlike every other comedian that is coming on the show. Because this is the show where you want to come and burn everything down.
No.
But we got an icon here, so we're not doing that. All right, next one.
Definitely, yeah. So smash. Me and my what is that? My man from North Carolina, the singer.
Who's from North Carolina?
The singer, Charlene.
Oh, Anthony Hamilton.
That's my Anthony Hamilton.
I thought you were gonna say that was your Cam Newton era, where because he just got jumped and that hat did not come off.
Let me just say this. I'm not trying to know shit, but I was wearing Nick Fouquet before he was.
Yeah.
That little old young boy. He got more. I had feathers and shit. That's my Nick Fouquet jumpy.
Wait, so is that the hats that he be wearing?
Yeah, that's Nick
That's
Fouquet.
the line.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's when you got money. Because you have to have money. When you say Nick Fouquet, I would have said Nick fuck it.
That's how people pronounce it.
Right.
But it's still going to be the same money.
Right.
You can call it fuck it, but you better get your card ready.
Yo, so Beyonce comes out with Texas Hold'em. I trashed on my podcast. I drive around the street a few times and listen to it. Now I want to go get boots and a damn some Wranglers. You can't?
No.
Why?
I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
And black people started every genre of music in the country.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that because of her, they're getting shine. But I just can't stand to see rednecks happy. I can't do it.
Wait, but if Beyonce's headline the CMT, you're not going?
The hell. Whenever Rednecks is smiling, I'm like, I can't go there. I can't go.
Okay, the next one.
Oh, definitely. Smash. I just did that.
Wait, is that Fendi?
Yeah, baby boy. You ain't the only one that can wear Fendi.
No, I know you got money.
Fendi, Marnie, all that type shit.
You just layered money on top of money.
Yeah, but I just was cold. I wouldn't have worn a coat, but it was 30 degrees. So I was like, I wouldn't have done it.
Okay. Wait, are you a glasses person?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I wear Cullen Gross and Jacques Mars.
Money. Shit, that's like when Rihanna talked about Giorgio Baldi. I don't know. I know
Who
Giorgio.
is that?
Right. I thought it was an Italian who was balding. It's a restaurant.
Well, Christian Dior ain't bad either, baby boy.
Okay, let's continue.
So come on now.
It's a little something,
Now.
The leather game, no?
Not that. Now.
Why not? This the turtleneck, the leather, and the jeans?
But it's my juice era, you know what I mean?
Okay.
My, what is that, brown sugar era, that.
Next.
Definitely smash. That's my R13,
That's
Givenchy
wait,
shoes.
what is the suit you said earlier? When you custom design, is that custom design?
No, that's a R13, and that's a Nick Fouquet hat and some Givenchy sneakers.
Wait, so why do you dress that expensive to what looks like a small venue?
Hey, let's not be like that.
No,
it's the church, baby. It don't
Oh,
matter
that's
how
the
big
church?
the people. And you know what it is? It's not the building. It's the people in the church.
Oh.
I want to give the people a show.
But isn't it also like they ain't rich, so they're also looking at you with money, Because I can't wear this back in Stockton. I don't.
You can.
Well, I do.
Stockton is different.
Actually, I do knock on doors with a Louis Vuitton jacket on. I felt bad at first but it is my jacket.
Right.
I am who I am.
Right. It's cold and I'm fly. So
Yeah.
are you gonna vote for me or not?
And you deserve Louis Vuitton too.
Right.
Let me show you how to get on that.
I'm gonna show
money.
you how to get it. Not today. Not this cycle.
Not this jacket today.
Re-elect me and it's Louis Vuittons for everybody.
You get Louis, everybody gets Louis. Okay, this is the last one right here. I like this fly.
Yeah. You know what? This was Jazz in the Garden. Do you know who was headlining that night?
Who?
R. Kelly.
Okay, before the charges, after the charges?
No, well, they were percolating.
Okay.
And
The tape was out, because everybody saw the tape, but nobody was mad for years.
You gonna come hang out? Like, nah, nigga, I'm getting ready to go on in. But he gave a great performance, but I was like, nah, it's all right.
Is Diddy in trouble?
Yes. But I hate that people are accusing him of shit he didn't do. It's enough shit he potentially might have done. Like that dude he said he was watching porno with Stevie J, and that wasn't even Stevie J. Like,
it said Diddy was playing with his booty hole. It's a lot going on.
Stop. I have, the one thing I'm glad about, I never did, and I said this earlier, the people that went to all the parties now got a lawyer explaining what they were doing at the party.
Right.
I'm so glad I went home.
But that's the thing with cancel culture. It's now going back decades. So like
not for white people though.
Well, I've said cancel culture only rents space in our head and does not apply to them.
No. Well, you can't have a dude that's running for president that just got found liable for sexual battery and fraud.
Yeah.
And tell me you can't. It's funny.
And is the front runner for the whole party.
Fonnie Willis, you mad at her because she knocked the dude off.
Right.
You didn't get mad at Marshall Clark and Christopher Darden.
Right.
Because you wanted to win.
Right.
Now you got Fonnie Willis records, but you ain't got your tax returns. You ain't got the records from the CIA, the Secret Service. So it's just, people want what they want, and they will move shit around. Like now IVF is, like Alabama saying that embryos are people, but they also denied federal funding that would feed poor people.
Right.
So I hope when them niggas start, they ain't hungry.
Right. Right. But that's what I said. The rules keep changing. They only apply to certain
The rules
groups.
to me, if you vote against, there's a congresswoman here that voted against IVF, but has a child by it. It's fairly consistent. Whatever I do, I should allow somebody else to do, because maybe they're in the same position I was in when I did it. But if I did something and they go, fuck you, I don't want you to do it, it's like all these people that got in from immigration and then closed the door on people who are trying to come in.
Right.
Or all these people who are against abortion but had one or paid for one. I think you have to be consistent.
Right. Well, listen, I have been campaigning on this is who I am. I'm gonna drink my shit with a straw, as gay as I can be. And
not that long a straw.
Well, not that long. Listen,
when you go to state assembly, it got to be shorter than that.
If I ever go to state assembly, I'm just gonna get rid of the straws, and I'll probably have a wife and somebody's kids as mine on the pamphlets.
Man,
no, I won't. I gotta be me. I gotta always stand on who I am.
I don't know. You want to get a governor, nigga? You better get you a white woman. I'm just telling you.
A white woman?
Yes.
I won't be the governor. Listen, a privilege is an understatement. I'm glad that we finally made this happen. I appreciate you along my journey, like, checking in and making sure I'm moving right. And anything you ever need me for, like, I want to be there.
Sure, man.
And maybe, I know you say you like to write.
I do like to write.
Maybe you can write a special for Monique, because otherwise, no.
When nigga, ain't gonna happen. But I can't write. What I want to write is your acceptance. Thank you.
Really?
It ain't gonna be long.
No.
Thank you. And where's my straw, nigga? Isn't that short and eloquent?
Wait, the funny thing is, so we're already planning the victory party because it's coming up a day before your birthday.
Yeah.
And we were talking about who we want to host or perform. I was gonna have Lil' Kim pop out, but we're gonna have kids there, so the sucking dick thing probably won't be right for them. So I think we're gonna do Busta. Busta would be perfect,
sure.
right?
Busta would be fucking dope.
Right?
Yeah, he's scared the shit out of the kids, but yeah.
I'm gonna just tell him woo-ha, because now your councilman
you
got you all in
let Jay know, and we'll send you a congratulations video.
Okay, let's do it. All right, thank you.
Whatever you do, I don't give a fuck what you do, just be able to say, I did it because I believe in it. Problem with people who get into public office is they do shit, and when they're in trouble for it, they can't say why they did it.
Yeah.
If you could say, I thought I was doing the right thing, it was a mistake or whatever. Listen, all of us, nobody's, infallible.
Yeah.
If whatever you did it for resembles why you're in it for, then you've done all right.
These white folks have me so scared. I don't drive. I get driven around. I have security. I don't drink anymore. I'm being very...
One day you won't be scared.
Yeah, I'm being very intentional.
And one day you won't be intentional. One day you'll be left to your own devices.
Yeah?
And may the thing that brought you here keep you there.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to end on that note. But I appreciate you.
Likewise.
And if you ever need me, if I come up with
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to call you. Don't tell us that.
I wanted to write some jokes. I wanted to do a show at the Laugh Factory called Uncanceled, where I brought everybody together to do all the cancelable shit. But then now that I'm running for office, I can't, because I'm going to get canceled.
No, you would.
Yeah, I would get canceled.
No, you wouldn't be canceled. You wouldn't get elected.
I wouldn't get elected.
But what, you going to make $37,000 to be a fucking Stockton?
Yeah, I'm donating all that anyway.
Of course.
To the kids, yeah.
What does that cost you? 2 sneakers? What the fuck you...
I mean, I spent $100.
Who was the dude, the Stockton serial killer they caught? They caught him stalking.
Yeah, they caught a serial killer recently.
Yeah, but they watched him.
Yeah.
Like this, it was a black one too.
But the city that's so crazy is, that's crazy he know about Stockton. You know what's so crazy? This serial killer, the city knew about it before they told the public.
But he was killing us, so they didn't give a fuck.
And let me get out of here before I don't get elected. Bye.
Yo, here we go.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The Jason Lee Show. To watch more episodes like that, click right here. And if you want to see more, subscribe below and click that notification bell.